It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.
Yeah, happy Sunday night on the Conjugal Visit Show. You're listening to the Conjugal Visit Show through KGFRocks.com on Spreaker. Good evening, my friend Guido. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty fair. Struggling with the allergies. It's an early spring here in St. Louis, and I'm really feeling the wrath of it, man. It's kicking my ass, so you'll have to bear with me tonight, okay, Guido? I know you're used to the heavy breathing over here on this end, because I do that quite a bit, but tonight it may be spectacular, so you can stay tuned for that. But how's the weather up there by you?
It's pretty nice. How is it by you?
It's nice. Yesterday it got up to almost 70 degrees. It was ridiculously warm. It felt like a spring day, and then today it chilled out a little bit. We got some heavy thunderstorms last night, and it chilled out today. A little bit cooler. It was 59 degrees today, 60 degrees. Wow. And, yeah, it's just beautiful. It felt like a real fall day, you know, that kind of a thing. But they're expecting snow Wednesday, so.
Well, that's, I think the same thing here. You know, last Friday we had a blizzard, and this Friday it was like, sweater weather.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to believe in that global warming crap, but at the same time, you know, it may be happening. Well, anyway, we won't get into the politics of it, but it is weird, man. It is weird. And tonight is a full moon, so that's kind of scary all by itself.
Oh.
Yeah, we got the howling going on. Yeah, the full moon. So listen, I wanted to ask you, man, does your old lady have a pet name for your genitalia?
No.
No pet name? Come on.
No.
Oh, come on. You're boring the hell out of me. Somebody, you got, you know, what is it, like Rocky?
Why do you need to name it?
Or is it Princess Leia? What is it? I mean, well, you know, a lot of people name their partner's genitalia. And we were just it was on the movie. What the hell was the name of that movie? It's a chick flick. They were talking, and she named his penis, and Princess Sophia. And I just found it struck me as funny as shit that someone would name somebody else's genitalia like that, and mine is Rocky. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the name for my genitalia. It's Rocky, and it's one of those fascinating things that I just came up with. You know, just thought of it. I wonder if there's any listings on.
Do you name it Rocky because you beat it a lot?
Yeah, I beat rocks together every chance I get, while looking at granny panties.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's special.
That is special. That is very special. So. Dude, we're only 4 minutes into the show.
Well, you know, actually, it does. Rocky, I don't know where the hell did you get that name from?
I don't know. I didn't name it. It wasn't me.
You're not Italian.
No. I'm definitely not Italian when it comes to that.
No. Oh, it's small.
Yeah, well, no, it's not huge.
Just call me huge and then. So now you got your band won Artist of the Week this week.
Oh yeah, Blue Oyster Cult, excellent accent.
Yeah, not really. I know like 3 songs by them.
You know more than that. You know, if you listen to if you listen to some of their stuff, you would appreciate it, man. I mean,
They
just
had,
sit back and listen to it. It's good stuff.
they had
I mean,
3 songs that they play on the radio: Godzilla,
yeah,
Don't Fear the Reaper,
uh-huh.
and Burning for You.
Okay, but then there's their first album, Telepaths, Psychotelepaths. Okay, and then you also have, let's see, there's a number of albums.
Sure, they got many albums. They had a lengthy career, and they're still recording albums. But how many of them are classic rock staples? Is what I'm asking you. How many?
Well, they're not. You know what though? You know, it's not classic rock staples. It's more like they didn't have to have hits. They were more of a. They weren't a mainstream media band. Okay, and then all of a sudden they did "Don't Fear the Reaper." Okay, and then once they did that and they hit the big time, you know, they exploded from there.
Yeah, but
okay?
but Black Sabbath wasn't a singles band either, and
Right.
80% of the world can tell you 10 Black Sabbath songs.
Right.
How many
Right.
people out there? I'm not putting anything against Blue Oyster Cult, but how many people out there can name 5 Blue Oyster Cult songs? And you can't use the big 3.
Oh, and you can't use the big 3?
Can't use the big 3.
I could probably name you. Let's see, not name the big 3. Okay, the Black and the White, and then you have straight Telepaths. Let's see, and then you have White Stairway, and let's see. Let me look at this better.
But I'm
here.
not saying you. I'm saying the majority of people. Oh, they did have the Cities on Flame of Rock and Roll. That was a good song. I forgot about that.
Cities on Flame on Rock and Roll.
And Wild Bill said Career of Evil.
Career of Evil. Thank you. Burning for you. I'm burning for you. Right?
That's one of the big 3.
Yeah, well, and then came The Last Days of May. That's a great song. I Love the Night.
Yeah.
Career of Evil. Flaming Telepaths. Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll.
Don't like them. I don't like them. That's my opinion. I can have that.
Veterans of Psychic Wars.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when I was putting together the playlist for them for the Artist of the Week, I was like, I don't know what song's good. I'll just put these 20 in.
7 Screaming Dizbusters. Great song. I saw them in concert, and there was 5 of them in the band, and all 5 of them came out there with guitars and jammed on that song. Kick-ass song. Teen Archer, another one, another great song. There's a lot of good songs that they did. In Thee, that's a killer song. Before the Kiss, One Last Kiss Before I Go. There's a lot of them, man. They got a lot of songs.
Yeah, I'm not saying they suck. I'm not saying they suck. I'm just saying I personally don't like them. You know,
That's
is my
okay.
opinion. And I don't even not dislike them. I'm not saying, oh, they suck, I hate them, whatever. I'm just saying that I never really listened to them. Maybe that's what I should say. I was never a fan of theirs, you know. Yes,
Right.
Don't Fear the Reaper, I've heard 10 billion times.
Unfortunately, you got sacked with Don't Fear the Reaper and
Burning for You.
Burning for You, and then after that, I mean, those are their top songs. Okay,
Yeah.
Those are the best songs they ever did. And then they've got songs like Astronomy, which is a great song, and Metallica actually took some of that riff from that. Okay,
And it's not even because they weren't played on the radio, because there's a lot of bands that I listen to that weren't played on the radio, okay?
Right.
Like, Yes. There wasn't a lot of Yes played on the radio, except for the big ones, you know?
Right.
And I like a lot of Yes. And there's a lot of other bands like that I enjoy, but I just never got into Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know
when it comes
what they sang about.
Right. When it comes to bands like Yes, though, I'm only a fan when I see them live. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if they come on the radio while I'm driving in the car, I turn it down.
Well, their music can get a little monotonous and boring. You know, it's just like when John Anderson did that one solo song, and it comes on in our station once in a while, and it's just like, every once in a while it's okay to listen to, but it's like this song just annoys the crap out of me, and I forgot the name of it, but
it's about the gangsters and shit.
Yeah, it just gets like
Yeah.
their music is like it's over the top. Like you're right, like you got to go see them. Same thing with some of the Pink Floyd songs. I love Pink Floyd, and I listen to Pink Floyd all the time. But there's certain Pink Floyd songs that go better live than they do on the record.
Right.
And for that matter, the Grateful Dead too. The Grateful Dead sucks on record. They'll tell you themselves, that.
Yeah, they don't like the records. They would rather perform live.
Absolutely.
And Blue Oyster Cult was the same way. I think I saw Blue Oyster Cult no less than 7 times.
I've never seen it.
I
seen
saw
Eric Bloom, the leader.
The lead. He's the founder.
Yeah, I saw him. I don't know why he was solo, but he did a solo concert, Eric Bloom and Friends or something. And I'm like, why? He's the band. Why the hell wouldn't he just use the name?
Well, I think there was some conflicts there.
Yeah,
because the band was still touring when he was on his own. He decided to venture off on his own, and they weren't the same band. They weren't the same band, but they are one of the. They were bad boys of rock. And they were an American band.
Well, they were the first. Like you listen to Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's all about mythology and and stuff like that. That's what Blue Oyster Cult was really about. They were about the darkness,
mythology, the darkness. Yeah.
Right. So they were one of the forefronts of that. Along with Uriah Heep.
Yep, they were like that too. They were storytellers, man.
Right.
They were fantasy storytellers, and you know what? I was going to talk when we talked to Tom tonight. Tom Edwards is our guest tonight, if you were wondering, folks. Tom Edwards. We're going to talk about storytellers and bands like Blue Oyster Cult and bands like Def Leppard and bands like Jethro Tull. These are storytellers. Even Jim Croce, for crying out loud. Every song was a story, I got a name and things like that. So I wanted to talk about more, expand on that. But where have all the storytellers gone, man?
Yeah, they probably went to the same place where have all the flowers gone?
Well, I don't know. See, now you're being a smart ass. You're being a smart ass.
But that's the storytellers too. The storytellers started out with folk music. Folk music was the first songs about storytelling.
Right.
And
well, you take folk and put it into rock, and what do you get? You get Uriah Heep.
You get the no. You get fucking Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Peter, Paul, and Mary. No, because you walk away from that because those are folk. That was, in my opinion, that was what they called folk rock.
Come on, the friggin'. Well, my bags are packed.
That was John Denver.
That was a great song, man.
Another storyteller, John Denver, and there were so many of them back then. There really were. I mean, you had a lot of guys were
was bigger than rock in the early '60s.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Bob Dylan was folk before he was rock. And the Kingston Trio, even Kenny Rogers was.
Oh yeah, Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah,
who by the way is still out there playing music.
He looks like he's death sucking on a lifesaver, but
but he's still out there, and you know what? He's still selling tickets.
No, he is. He's definitely a great entertainer. He is, and as Wild Bill said, even Simon and Garfunkel started off as storytellers, and they were probably some of the most underrated storytellers. And they weren't storytellers. I mean, it was one storyteller. Paul Simon wrote all that music.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't have shit to do with it. And matter of fact, when they broke up, everybody was like, "Ooh, what's Paul Simon gonna do?" Everybody thought Art Garfunkel was Simon and Garfunkel. No,
right?
It was all Paul Simon.
Yeah.
And their songs were some of their songs still stand out, like "Bridge Over Troubled Water." That anybody famous today can redo that song, even though the kids of today would never heard it before. They would love that song just because of the meaning of it, and
sure.
what it says. And those are the songs that we miss today. All the songs that are out today are about quick gratification, and like things that are going on today. No, nothing will stand the test of time anymore.
No,
it won't.
No, because it's a flash in the pan now. The entertainment industry has become a flash in the pan. getting the Eagles to go up on Grammy night and do a tribute.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what sucked about that.
They were pissed.
Don Felder didn't get invited to that, and I think that's bullshit.
I think so too.
Don Felder he may not be part of the Eagles anymore, and they might be legal things against him or whatever. But he was, an important part of that band, and he was a friend of Glenn Frey at one time. And for Christ's sakes, he wrote 90% of Hotel California.
Yeah.
He should have been there.
He should have been there. But I don't know. We don't know whether or not he was asked to be there.
No, he said he wasn't.
He said he wasn't.
Yep, he said he did an interview and said he wasn't even asked. He said he wasn't even called. No emails, no text. He said he probably would have said no just because of the bad blood, but he wasn't even asked.
Right.
And that's bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Do you know that they threw him out of the band, but they signed an agreement back when they did one of these nights and gave him a fifth of the band, an equal share of the band. Do you know that he still makes money every concert they put on, every fucking record they sell, every T-shirt they sell, he gets a fifth of it.
Oh, sure. Mm-hmm. He's an Eagle.
Yep.
He's an Eagle, no question about it, and he deserves every bit of it. I mean, he was there through the good times and the bad times.
Sure, and he wasn't on the first three albums. They're country-fied albums.
Right.
But when the first song he ever played on was Already Gone. And that was their first rock and roll song.
Right.
Pure rock and roll song.
Pure rock.
No,
they were
none of that.
Yeah. They were. I don't know that it was country. It was close.
It was close to country. It was on the same vein as like Graham Parsons and like Poco and what's that other band? The Birds. The Birds.
Yeah.
Sweetheart Rodeo and all that.
Right.
Same vein as that.
They were. It wasn't even Southern rock. It was more like country rock. Kind of a thing.
It was something all on its own.
It was storytelling. It was telling a story, man.
They call it like roots rock or something. You're right, the storytelling aspect. And the 80s had a few final storytellers.
Yeah.
Like John Mellencamp.
Yeah, okay? John Mellencamp. Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen, yes. Bruce Springsteen to me was the updated version of Bob Dylan.
Yeah?
And
but he was more clear. He was a hell of a lot clearer than Bob Dylan was.
I could put fucking marbles in my mouth and be clearer than Bob Dylan. I mean, he's the only man in the history to have millions of records sold, and you have to go to lyrics.com to understand what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah. Ray Manzarek even made fun of him, kind of thing. Yeah, we could, remember in the movie, truth be told, Ray Manzarek says, yeah, we could do better than Bob Dylan. Man, down in the basement, mixing up the medicine, kind of a thing. So, Bob Dylan was a definite storyteller.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, there's no getting around that. But as far as the 80s, yeah, you're right. There were a few in the 80s. There were quite a few.
There was, and that was the last decade, I think, of that storyteller. Like John Mellencamp, case in point. He had some pop songs, but then he had some storytelling songs like Small Town. I grew up in a small town.
Scarecrow.
Right now, the Scarecrow was probably, was the plight of the farmer. Very, very good story. And those are the songs that I like the best.
Those are the songs that resonate.
Yeah, they are, and they will last forever.
Oh, another great storyteller, Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, another one, and what's his name? Doggone it. I can never think of his name off the top
John
of my head.
Fogerty?
John Fogerty. Yeah. Another storyteller. The list goes on. They're not there anymore, man. Right. Even, gosh, I do this to myself all the time. I do. The Destroyers.
George Thorogood?
George Thorogood. Storyteller. No matter how nasty they were, I mean, he told a story, man.
You know who else was a great storyteller?
Who's that?
Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon? Yeah, he told a lot of lies, man. He made a whole lot of stuff up. No, he just kept things on the down low,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he kept things, he never came out and publicly said anything, so he didn't have to. He was busted.
Yeah.
No question about it. And he was a lunatic too. He was strange. We put a lunatic into office more than once, I can tell you that. There's a few out there.
Almost everybody we've put in office is a lunatic in some way or the other. You have to be kind of a lunatic to be in that position. Did you ever notice, you look at a president, I don't care if they were the president for 4 years or 8 years, you look at them the day they go in the White House, and then look at them their last day in the White House.
Oh, they're gray.
They aged like 25 years.
Yeah. Look at Barack Obama, just for an example. And I don't want to delve too deep into this.
No, it's not political. It's just,
he looked so young when we elected him, when they elected him.
Right.
And they put him into office, and now he is just gray, and he's got that ash color look to his skin now. He's not the same guy that went into the White House. And none of even GW aged.
Oh, big time.
Big time. And especially, sending all those guys off into harm's way, whether it was right or wrong. He had to do that. And so the only one that really didn't age, and it's because he was already there when he got there, would be FDR.
Right.
I mean,
and Reagan didn't age much.
No, he didn't age much, but you know what? The Alzheimer's started.
Yeah,
the last 18 months must have been hell in the White House.
Sure, I'm sure
must have been hell.
But I mean, he didn't age well or that bad. But it's a stressful fucking job. I mean,
oh yeah, no question.
I would not want to be. I know people say, "Oh, I can do a better job at running the country."
Go for it, dude.
You cannot, dude. Okay,
no.
I mean, try running a corner store first. See if you can do that.
Yeah, and if you can pull that off, then you might be eligible. Well, can you imagine Barack Obama's first day in office? When he before he actually took the oath, he had a meeting with George W. Bush, and they sat down and they talked about all the secret shit, right? Mm-hmm. And imagine the look on his face, and I can hear him now saying, "No shit." No shit, huh? Yeah. And he's finding this shit out for the first time. I mean, can you imagine that conversation? Did you know this? Oh, and we got this going on. Oh, and you want to look out for this, and you want to check this out. And he's going, no shit,
that's why those presidents get Secret Service people for life. It's not because they were the past presidents, because they have so many secrets that they know.
Oh yeah, they know a lot. They take a lot of secrets to the grave with them,
and they could be abducted by anybody, and so that's why they got the Secret Service on them till the day they die.
Oh yeah, there's just way too much information that they know. Mm-hmm. They've got to. Could you imagine, waterboarding a former president?
I know. How many are left?
There are. Let's see. George Bush, and then there's
both Bushes.
Both Bushes. Clinton is still around. Jimmy Carter is still around. He hasn't passed yet.
Jimmy.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do forget about him. I wish we could just forget that he was ever president. But anyway,
I think that's it, though.
Yeah, I think that's it. And George W. Bush, of course, is still alive. And
so there's 4 ex-presidents alive, right?
4. Let's see: Jimmy Carter, George Bush, Bill Clinton, and George Bush, and then soon to be ex-president. Thank God, Barack Hussein Obama.
So now, I know we don't get political, but, I always enjoy Facebook during
political season. Yeah.
Yes, because, people show who their pride
their true colors. Yeah.
And the fights are just, like family members, like my uncles fighting, Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump,
It's like hilarious because, you should fly your flag and whoever you're voting for. You shouldn't keep your. Sure. You should be proud of who.
Well, now a lot of people, Guido, keep their votes to themselves.
I don't get that.
Yeah, I do. I get it because when it turns out that their vote was to a fuck up, they don't want anybody to know they voted for. I will tell you,
everybody I ever voted for, and I'm always proud of whoever I voted for.
Right.
And I've personally myself voted Republican since I was able to vote, not because I'm a Republican. Well, I am. I'm registered Republican, but not because I believe in the Republican ideal, but because I believe in the person that was running.
Right.
I lost several times. I lost through the whole Clinton administration. I lost through the whole Barack administration.
Yeah.
But I'll fly it. I'll tell you I'm voting for this person. I'm voting for that. But
Right.
right now I'm undecided on who I'm voting for because
We don't know yet.
right.
We don't.
But
Do you think Donald Trump is going to tear Hillary a new ass or what?
I don't think Hillary's getting the nomination.
You know what? I don't think so either. This is going to be. This should be a slam dunk for the Republican Party.
Well, Jeb Bush just dropped out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know why he was in there in the first place.
Right.
Well, he should have known that. He should have done at least a couple of polls to see how he would do.
What his problem was he entered too late. He was undecided, and then he entered too late. But I think in the next president will be decided between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump.
I think so too. I think Donald Trump's going to get the nomination.
Yeah, I think Trump and Sanders will get the nominations. And even if Trump doesn't get the nomination, I think he'll go in as an independent.
As an independent? Well, I don't know if he'll go against his word or not. But I think he did that mainly because he knows he can win this thing.
Right.
It's his to lose. It really is.
And the main thing about Bernie Sanders, his key to get in the White House, in my opinion, is who he chooses for a running mate. And I'll tell you why. Because the man's 107 years old. So he may not make it the full 4 years if he wins.
Yeah,
so
he's an old timer.
Chooses to be his running mate. I think will decide if he becomes president or not.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that. And Hillary will not take second lapdog to that.
Just like why nobody shot the first George Bush.
Why is that?
Because Dan Quayle would have been the president.
Dan Quayle would have been president.
Right. So,
Yeah.
But that makes a big difference. We're not getting political. We're just talking things here. I mean, who you run with is ideal. I mean, like back in the 80s when Mondale picked Geraldine Ferraro, this country wasn't ready for that yet.
No, they weren't.
He screwed himself on that. He might have been able to win.
Yeah.
But I think
he wouldn't have beat. There's just no way he'd have beat Ronald Reagan.
Probably
he was just way too popular.
Right.
I think he picked her. I think he picked her because everybody was describing him as a womanizer of this and a womanizer of that in the very beginning of the primary season. And when he chose a woman for a running mate, Geraldine Ferraro, he didn't vet her very well. That's right off the top. Secondly, I don't think he cared because he knew deep down inside that this is futile, man. This guy's got, Ronald Reagan had a 94% approval rating, some outrageous number, man. And he said, fuck, I'm done, man. I mean, I don't even know why I'm running. So, and when Dukakis sat up in that tank,
I know.
See ya.
Well, yeah, Dukakis screwed him.
A Democrat in a tank? Stop it.
I know. Yeah. He looks
and besides that, and by the way, he's Greek. That ain't gonna happen.
well, I think, and I might be wrong on this, but I think Trump would also be the first Christian president.
If he won. Yeah. As far as Christian is concerned, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We've already had a Catholic.
Right. And who? Oh, Kennedy. That's right.
John F. Kennedy.
I forgot about that. He's the only one.
He is the only Catholic.
Yep.
I believe so. If anybody knows out there, let us know if he was the only Catholic one.
I find that hard to believe because the amount of Catholics that are in this country, that he was the only one.
Right.
But there goes, the religion thing always gets in the way. I can't vote for him. He's this. What? Bullshit. I mean, religion shouldn't be anything to do with politics.
That's true. Well, no, but they try to separate the church from the state. But you know what? The ideals of the Constitution. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. We're not going there, man. We're not, ladies and gentlemen, we are not going there, okay?
It makes for such great shows, though.
But during this tell us, ladies and gentlemen, go to our Facebook page, the Conjugal Visit Show. It's right there on Facebook. Just go find us and like it, and then go in there and tell us whether or not we should have a political show on our Spreaker network.
Remember when ZZ Top ran for president?
Yeah, Billy Gibbons, right? Billy fucking Gibbons?
No, it was, remember, Father Guido Sarducci.
Guido Sarducci, yeah. He'd have made a great president.
That was one of my favorite Saturday Night Live characters was Father Guido Sarducci.
Well, my favorite one was alfalfa when he
Buckwheat?
was buckwheat. Yeah,
Yeah.
buckwheat. That's it. Yeah,
I'm buckwheat, damn it.
Buckwheat. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was assassinated.
Yeah.
Somebody
And
shot
people
him.
really thought he was my. This is true story. I was a young lad at that time, and my dad came home from drinking, him and his friend, and they really thought that Buckwheat got shot.
They thought buckwheat got shot.
Yeah, they were drunk and stoned probably, and they really thought Buckwheat got shot. It was one of the funniest nights of my life ever. It really was, and forever we razzed my dad about it. It was great, but that was great entertainment. TV, Saturday Night Live in the 70s and the early 80s was epic television.
Well, yeah, I don't think. See, and everybody, compares today's Saturday Night Live with yesterday's Saturday Night Live.
Not the same.
And it's not the same. And as a matter of fact, it's not even close. I think even back then they were above board. I think the writers were completely different, of course, and I think they had a different mindset.
Well, it's not only just the writers. This world has become so fucking politically correct that
It's difficult.
It's corrupted comedy. Okay,
Yeah.
now are we back to the 50s again, where you can't say certain things? I mean, Christ, in the 50s, Lucy and Ricky slept in different beds. And you saw your parents sleeping in the same bed.
Okay, trivia question, dude. Trivia question right there. Who was the first televised couple to sleep in the same bed?
Oh, God. I don't know. The Brady Bunch. I don't know.
Exactly. You hit it.
Well,
You guessed.
that's the only one I remember, so that's sleeping in the same bed.
They were the first couple on a sitcom to sleep in the same bed together.
Well, that only worked because Mike Brady was really gay, so they knew nothing was going to happen.
Well, yeah. No, but still, I mean, nobody out in the audience actually knew he was gay, did they? At that time, they didn't find out he was gay until he died of AIDS.
Right. No, and the thing about it is with them, I remember them in the same bed. That now that you say that, because they always had scenes where the kids would come in the bedroom and they're in the same bed,
right?
But that was reality. Okay, that's your parents slept in the same bed. In the 50s, the kids must have been confused. Why
are they sleeping in separate beds?
Are you guys bad? I mean, is my parents doing something bad? I mean, it had to be confusing for kids. But now we're back to this politically correctness thing, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it either. But I don't think it'll go that far. I think people need to open their mouths and say what they think if they want to. But Guido, the old saying is you're better off just shut the fuck up.
Well, that's not Guido.
Sometimes we make enemies inadvertently by opening our mouths. Facebook, we were just talking about it. Facebook is a perfect example of that. I mean, I've lost many friends, and good riddance to some of them, but because of my political overview. So I try my damnedest not to post political stuff on the internet. And it seems to be working okay.
Well, that's bullshit too. That shouldn't be around. I mean, we're in America, for Christ's sakes. You're supposed to be able to root for whoever you want to. Okay,
right?
And just because I put on my front lawn who I'm voting for doesn't mean I'm a bad person.
Oh no, and I don't mind that. That's not what I'm saying. Some of the insults, some of the negative ads that are on Facebook about certain candidates, I won't share them. I won't share
the shit out of them.
If I did, then there may be repercussions. It's not like I have a whole lot of followers on my Facebook, but at the same time, I've got a lot of friends that They don't want to see that stuff, and I don't. I post music. That's where I'm at. That's my political belief. That's my religion. Is my music.
Well, nobody should be afraid to post what they want. Okay, here's my view of it. You don't like what I post? There's the button. Unfriend me. I really don't give a shit. I mean, if you're that, whatever, like that you do all right and everything you do is amazing, you're fucking lying to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
very true.
You don't like what I post, then unfollow me. I'm going to do what I want to do. There is some things that I don't post because it could reflect bad on my family or something. Yeah, okay. then I won't.
Well, what about the Cheech and Chong posts, man?
I post them shits all day long. They're fucking funny, and not because I'm pro weed or whatever. It's because they're fucking funny.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with humor. I don't care. Look at the 70s. Look at the comedians then. You had, George Carlin. You had Cheech and Chong. You had all these guys that were doing political satire and stuff like that were funny as hell. Okay, now you listen to some of their jokes now, you don't get it because you're not there. You weren't there in the 70s, and
right.
You don't know who these people are. But the point of it is they were teaching people politics and life events through comedy. We don't have that anymore. The comedy now is it's kind of more, I don't know how to put it. It's not as enlightening. Okay?
If you want politically incorrect comedy, you have to go see it live and have like a concert. You don't get it. You don't get it on the television. You don't get it on Facebook. You have to go see them live, just like you were.
Well, yeah, but it shouldn't be that way. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I'm just saying that I think we all are. Here's the thing I don't get. Okay, we're politically correct. Okay, we can't say this on TV or about these people anymore. But on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, and Instagram, we can say whatever we want. More people pay attention to that than television.
Right.
So, I mean, like I'm following this one feed right now, the pop singer Kesha. I don't know if you ever heard of her, but she's trying to get out of her recording contract.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
She said she was raped by the producer. The judge denied it today.
He denied it. No kidding. I was wondering how that came out.
Yeah. So
we can talk about that, Guido, if you want to. But why don't we bring our guest in because he's ready to go.
Okay, bring him in.
Okay, and we'll bring him in. But when we do that, while we bring him in, we're going to play his latest song. This is a debut from Mr. Tom Edwards.
All right.
And we are the first ones to play it, and it will be going into our rotation. So listen up, okay? Turn it up. This is Tom Edwards and the song Lifetime. Brand new stuff. KGFRocks.com.
Time keeps dragging on.
Yeah, Mr. Tom Edwards. Very cool, man. Tom, you with us?
I'm here.
Hey, Tom.
The crowd welcomes you with open arms, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
My
Good
pleasure.
song, man. Good song.
Thanks. I just kind of actually finished mixing that this morning.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Last minute.
Last. Yeah.
Yeah.
KGF Rocks is going to have me on live tonight, man. I got to get it done.
Yeah, I was up burning the midnight oil on that one last night.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Who's doing the lead singing on that?
It's a guy named Adam Roth. He's from Sacramento. He was actually an American Idol contestant a couple seasons back.
Oh, cool.
I think he made it to the Hollywood Week.
Okay.
Just kind of got connected with him through another friend that knows him. And I knew the guy had an amazing voice, and I reached out to my friend and asked him to put me in contact with him, and I did, and sent the tune, and he liked it, and you guys heard the end result.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Yeah, those American Idol people get it wrong all the time. They never pick the right people anyway.
I know. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, they never do. I don't get it. But anyways, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I have a recording studio. I started it off playing bass guitar many years ago, played in a lot of bands in the South San Francisco Bay Area. Lived out here most of my life. I was actually born in North Carolina. Service brat. My dad was a Marine for about 30, 40 years.
Wow.
And moved around a lot when I was a kid till the parents split up, and then once Dad was gone, grew the long hair, started smoking weed,
Yeah.
Got into music and, picked up bass guitar. That was and still is my first love. I love playing bass guitar.
Well, I can honestly tell you that I no longer have the long hair. But anyway, go ahead, finish up.
Yeah, so, just played in local bands in the area. Got into multi-track recording, when the first little 4-track cassette decks came out back in the probably mid-'80s, early '90s. And, in the last 10 or 15 years, got really serious about it and got myself a spot and just kind of got into doing that and really sit behind the desk more than play live. Really haven't played out with other than a cover band since the late '90s with a band called Sucker Punch. But I still love, doing music, and I love, contributing and being, producer / engineer. I just love being around music. Don't make my living at it, but it's a very expensive hobby.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
We can sympathize with that because this is an expensive hobby too.
Yeah, so is radio. Yeah. It's not an easy thing, and you got to have a passion for it. Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just having a conversation with somebody about that today.
Right. So how big is your studio? How many folks can you accommodate, or is it?
It's 1,200 square feet. It's kind of a odd little setup. It's in an industrial area in Fremont, which I like to call the butthole of the bay.
Okay.
It's at the end of the San Francisco Bay, but it's pretty accessible to San Francisco, San Jose. It's in a good spot.
Sure.
I have a big warehouse, so I can do live drums, full band, the whole thing, using Pro Tools HDX, state-of-the-art recording medium. So
it's so much easier. Not easier, but the technology is so advanced now you don't need the big consoles and shit anymore, do you?
No. I actually use. It's funny you bring that up because I did cut my teeth on that stuff, and the stuff I have now is. Avid makes these things called the Artist Series, which is just like a little fader pack. So I have 2 of those chained together. And yeah, it's there was a partner I had here for a while that actually had a 24-track tape machine.
Oh, wow.
And that thing was, I loved the way it sounded, but my God, it was, trying to maintain. You need an army of people to take care of that stuff. So.
Oh, definitely. And I don't know about you, Tom, but I always like the older tracks, with the tape sound compared to the digital. Some of it, so the digital loses something in the mix sometimes, doesn't it?
It does, but in the last 5 or 6 years, it's gotten really, really super close. There's a lot of what they call emulations out there now. There's one product. Is it okay to like name people's products in here? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a company called Slate Digital that makes really cool, very analog sounding stuff. And I actually just purchased a mix course that they're selling over the internet with Chris Lord Alge. I don't know if you know who he is.
Oh, I know Chris Lord Alge is. Yes, definitely. I'm actually a big producer buff. To me, a producer is just as important as the musician in a group, and I always follow producers. Like one of my favorite of all time is Mutt Lange.
Oh yeah,
I love his production work, and Bruce Fairbairn, and the guys like that, and they're the unsung heroes, I believe, of the music industry.
Right. I'm a big fan of Joe Barassi. Do you know who he is? Mm-hmm. He did all the Rage Against the Machine stuff. He's just been in the business for years. And my first exposure, I guess you would say, to like an online course was something that he had that I would highly recommend if somebody really wants to kind of dig in and see what he does. And the really cool thing about it is he has some really funny interviews at the end of it. And he's just a really laid back guy who just loves what he's doing. And he doesn't really say, well, I EQ this, 3K at 2 dB or whatever. It's more like use your ears. That's the message you get. And it's just like anything else. You just got to do it a lot to get good.
Right. And some of these producers, nowadays are just as rich as the artists themselves, if not more, some of them.
If not more so, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and good for them because, you know what? To me, the producer, you hear a demo track and you're like, okay, that's a good song. And then the producer touches and like, oh my God, that's a fucking great song.
Yeah. That's why I was really, interested in the Barassi and the Chris Lord Alge thing. And Barassi even says, it's like, if you really want to learn how to do this, buy the magazines, read the articles, practice, and that's just like anything else. I mean, if you want to be a good water skier, then go out and water ski all the time.
Sure.
Yeah. If you want to learn how to ski, right?
Right. But I'm sure it helps to have an ear for the music too. I mean, anybody can learn how to use the equipment.
Absolutely. Well, I have a good friend who I don't know if you guys are going to have time to play the other song I sent you or not, but he named Sam Eigen that played guitar on the second song I sent you, and he's super good musician. Actually, I've known him. She's 15 years, and this past year I took lessons from him for a while because he's just one of those music guys. He gets excited about it, and you just being in the same room with the guy, you learn something about music, being a musician. And he auditioned for Alanis Morissette and John Frusciante, and he played on Jack Blades from Night Ranger, played on one of his records.
Oh, cool!
Really great musician, and he made the comment to me when I first kind of decided to start doing the studio thing. He says, I've been in a lot of studios, and the difference between you and some of these other guys is they're knob twirlers, and you're a musician. And
there
you
go. It makes a big difference. It does.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure some of the best producers out there, are, I don't want to say the wrong word to say failed musician, but musicians that had the sound, the ear, and the ability, but really couldn't maybe portray it through the instrument, but they could through the mass, of the board.
Right.
And there's a lot of producers out there that are so important to not just rock and roll, but music in general. I mean, where would the Beatles be without George Martin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was such a part of their sound as the guys writing the songs.
Mm-hmm. And then there's some of those musicians that did it too, like Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson is an unsung hero at the production quality. I mean, Pet Sounds, for Christ's sakes, was like, what? Wow,
But, there's some really cool documentaries too. Have you seen one called The Wrecking Crew, which was about all the?
Yeah, I saw that one. That wasn't out on HBO.
Yeah,
it's about this group of studio musicians that everybody used.
Right, they played on everything in like the '60s and the early '70s. They played on everything.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Muscle Shoals. You seen that one?
Oh, Muscle Shoals, where like the unsung that studio was hot.
It's great. If you've never seen that documentary, if anybody listening has ever seen it, I'd recommend it. They had a group of guys in there called the Swampers, and they were all local guys. That the guy, got the guy that owned the studio, I forgot his name, but he just basically gathered up these local musicians, and they became the house band for his studio, and they ended up playing on like tons of classic stuff. Aretha Franklin, played on some of the Rolling Stones stuff. It's a really good documentary.
Well, even like the guys from like Donald Duck Dunn and Steve Cropper and all of them.
Right.
It wasn't Donald Duck Dunn.
Cupertino MGs. They did a lot of things for Stax and other things.
Right.
Donald Duck Dunn, wasn't he with the Blues Brothers?
The
Yes.
whole band was with the Blues Brothers. Steve Cropper, yep. Steve Jordan, Lou Marini, yep. They all were.
Yeah.
And the other band that comes to mind, what played on a lot of people's albums, is the Funk Brothers from Motown.
Oh yeah, you can't leave them out.
No, they were
I watched
very
a
good.
documentary on them, and it's funny to see. Now, when you hear Motown, you think their musicians are what? You think they're black?
No,
They're all white.
half of them.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Player, was it one of the keyboard players? Was I think I can't remember their name.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like ironic to see that, but there's a lot of like I said, in the music industry, production, even as far as engineering, is a master. I mean, if mastering and engineering, that takes a key too. I mean, that takes a keen sense of sound and ability.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's it's segmented to where mastering engineers, that's all they do is they take your stuff kind of to the finish line,
Sure.
and that takes a whole different kind of set of ears, I guess, if you will, than doing the mixing or the engineering part of it, and it's over here. I wear a lot of hats. I try to because I'm trying to help people out and do stuff relatively cheaply. So, if they, whatever they want me to do, if they want me just to track it for them and then they go mix it, or if they want me to help them mix it, and even, some kind of quasi mastering, which I don't call myself a mastering engineer.
Let me ask you this, Tom. Have you been able to go to any of the rock clubs there in San Francisco at all? I know there's quite a few of them out there, and checked out some of the local talent that you've got there.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. It's, having lived in this area for a long time, there used to be tons of that kind of stuff around here. Back when I used to play at a lot of the places. Right. Not so much. I mean, this
Clubs
area
are dying, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Well, there was one recently that was opened in San Jose called the Rock Bar Theater. I just went and saw the Winery Dogs there.
That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you know who those are? Billy Sheehan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, they're good. We got them on our rotation.
I'm from Buffalo. I grew up with Billy.
Oh, okay. So Billy.
Yeah.
Billy's a super cool guy. Super,
Yeah.
very approachable, and just it seems like the older he gets, the nicer he gets.
Well, Billy Sheehan was definitely like a homegrown favorite, and he was always like talks to you after his shows and that. Then he got famous, and we don't see him no more. But
Yeah. Well, now it's like with the Winery Dogs, they go out to the bus, and he hangs out with people. If you email him, he'll answer you back. Like I bought one of his pedal that he came out, his signature bass distortion, which is hands down the best bass distortion pedal ever. And, I just got it like a month or so ago, and I'm on Facebook, and he's at the NAMM show announcing version 2. And I put it on there, figures, I just bought mine. He answered me back and said, hey, that one's still good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they're a great band. I mean, if anybody out there listening gets the chance to go check them out.
So now, are you originally from San Francisco? Is that where you grew up? Is that where you're from? Or
I've been in the area since junior high school. Originally from North Carolina, lived in Waco, Texas, Bethesda, Maryland. When I was really, really young. Southern California, lived on a Marine Corps base for a little while when I was great.
Cool.
But yeah, I spent most of my time here.
Yeah, and San Francisco is pretty. Music scene's pretty good there still, isn't it?
If you like hip hop.
Never mind.
The rock clubs are dying in every city. I mean, we've had 2 close here in the last 18 months here in St. Louis, and the local music is really starting to suffer. And I'll tell you what, the local bands are actually doing concerts now. They're going to larger venues, and they're only playing 1, 2, maybe 3 gigs a year instead of doing the club scene. First of all, club owners don't want to pay them anything. And secondly, there's no patronage for it. Nobody goes to the bar anymore. First of all, you can't smoke in bars anymore, and so what fun is it to drink a beer and not have a cigarette? And secondly, there's that cover charge. And nobody wants to pay that either. And then the drinking and driving laws have changed drastically as well. You can actually spend time in prison for being a DUI. So there's a lot of factors that go into the club scene, and I'm just curious. It's gotten that thin out there in San Francisco.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there's a club scene, but like I said, it's I live about 20 miles away from Oakland.
Okay.
And then San Francisco is just on the other side of the bridge, obviously. But it's if you go on at one point when I first got this place up and running, and I mean, believe me, I do this because I love it. I don't make money at it. I have a regular day job, But when I first got this up and running, I went on Reverb Nation just trying to find like a good local band that just needed a break and needed somebody to record them, and do like a spec thing, maybe not charge them anything, make something off the back end if they ever sold something, just to get a little more experience because I just opened up my room and to give them an opportunity to make a good demo. And it was very difficult to find anybody that wasn't doing like hip hop at their house,
Really?
I actually have worked with one or two hip hop guys. I mean, I like everything. I love music. I just love it. And if it's, if it's good, it's good. I don't care what it is,
I agree with you.
But I had one hip hop session where I kind of produced it, and it turned out really good. But I mean, basically, the guy came in here and did vocals and brought a track, so it was challenging in the sense that it really made me use the studio as an instrument, as opposed to okay, I'm going to play bass or guitar or keys or whatever on this, And it was kind of my first exposure to that, and I dug it. But so there's a market for that around here. But even that, there's a lot of these guys make their demos, in their closet. A microphone and a laptop.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So tell us, man, what are some of your influences when you were growing up? What were you listening to?
Oh man, now I'm gonna age myself here.
That's okay. I do it every day, man. It's okay. You can do this.
Date myself, I should say. Well, obviously Zeppelin, Hendrix, Allman Brothers. I think Allman Brothers' Eat a Peach was probably the first record I listened to when I was a kid where I was like, wow, listen to that guitar, listen to how this is put together. Before it was just kind of like radio pop stuff. And then a good friend of mine who is the first guitar player I was in a band with, who's no longer with us, R.I.P. Mike, he turned me on to Jimi Hendrix. And then from there it was, Pat Travers, Rick Derringer, Johnny Winters. That was
Johnny Winter. The hell is that?
Oh, yeah. Johnny Winter and Live from War of the Grooves off of that.
Yeah. The guy is just a groove, man. It was he was phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen him live?
I saw Johnny Winter with Edgar Winter, and
oh wow.
Yeah, they came out and did. He came out with Edgar Winter, and they did a couple of blues tunes, and then they came out and right in the middle of doing Frankenstein, Johnny Winter walked out on the stage. So here, these two albinos standing out there on the stage. It was just phenomenal.
When I saw Johnny Winters, it was 2008-ish or something, and he sat for most of the show, and then. At the every so often he'd go off to the side there, and I'm like, "Was he doing shots?" So I walked around to the stage to see. No, he was sucking on oxygen.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but is he still alive? I don't know.
No, he passed away a few years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, 2 years ago, about.
Yeah,
I was going to say it was probably.
Wasn't it? Maybe it was last year. I don't know. 2015.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago.
Yeah. How old was he?
He was in his 70s. I know at least.
That's a shame he lost.
Yeah, he was.
I saw it like 2 or 3 times. Like you're talking about the club. The small clubs up in the city when there used to be places to go and see that kind of stuff, and now mostly it's like cover bands or hip hop stuff. DJs.
He passed away July 16th, 2014.
2014.
Yeah, he passed away. He had real bad lung cancer and stuff.
Yeah, but he was different because he wasn't the traditional blues artist. Up to that point, everybody was the traditional blues, and he came out with something different, I think.
Yeah, it was more of a edge to it. More of kind of a rock and roll, almost like a Chuck Berry kind of.
Sure,
edge.
sure.
Yeah.
And he played it well. And I mean, my favorite album by him, production-wise too, because it was stripped down, was Nothing But the Blues, and I think it came out in '77.
Yeah.
You know, it was just no studio magic or trickery. It was just well done. You know, and there's a lot of simplified producers out there too. You know, once in a while, like Rick Rubin. I'm sure you know who Rick Rubin is.
Right.
Rick Rubin sometimes does the stripped down versions of things, and he, like the Johnny Cash things he did, was amazing.
Right.
You know,
who Glenn Johns is?
Glenn Johns, yes, he's the Eagles mastermind. I mean, he did some of the Eagles early stuff, I believe.
Yeah, he did Who, Zeppelin, and he has talk about like simplicity. There was a guy, a drummer recently that I met with, and we jammed a couple of times, and he hit me up and he says, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to mic up my kit. And I said, look up Glenn Johns, because he mic'd the kit on some classic records with 4 microphones.
Oh, wow.
Whereas nowadays, I mean, I've had sessions in here where I've had like 14 microphones on it.
Oh yeah, I watched this documentary one time, and it was about the making of Dark Side of the Moon. Now, when the song "Time" was made, they had to get a room filled with clocks. Yeah, and now you could just Google it and say, you know what I mean, and get it.
Yeah, I've done stuff like that.
I mean, they had to fucking make a room of clocks to get that sound.
Right. Yeah, I mean, digital recording is definitely made life much easier, But I'm still I have that old school mentality where I like to get a band in a room. I want to get that energy, I don't want to do tons of overdubs.
Sure.
And I really use Pro Tools more like a tape machine. I'm not like super, Pro Tools ninja editing guy, but I know my way around the software, obviously. And you got to work fast if someone's paying you,
Oh, sure. And it makes a big difference. I mean, like you said with the Pro Tools it's not a cheap thing, first of all. And it's also not simple. It's not really simple to use. You have to have some ability to use Pro Tools.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, anybody can get it up and running and throw a mic up, but there's a little more that goes into it than that.
That's what she said. Anyway, yeah.
If I can interject here, you guys were talking about earlier about bands that tell stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you were saying that's kind of a
lost art.
Lost art, yeah. And I wrote down some ideas or some names here that I thought maybe it hasn't been completely lost. Have you seen the Foo Fighters' Sonic Highway?
Oh yeah.
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 So I mean, at the end of every episode, Dave Grohl wrote a song and told a story about the city they were in.
Yeah, you're right. There is still some out there, but it's not like it used to be. It's not the mainstream anymore. Okay, there still is like Rage Against the Machine, like you said. They're storytellers to a certain degree. I don't think it's like it was before, like where Bob Dylan was like the mech. Oh my God, Bob Dylan, writes these great songs. I think that art form is gone.
Yeah, and I agree to a certain degree. I think it's definitely we live in this instant gratification,
absolutely
4-hour news cycle society, and there doesn't seem to be any rock stars anymore. It's nobody has any staying power. I mean, the rock stars that we're all watching, like at the Grammys or whatever, are guys of 60s, and 70s.
Right. Dave Grohl might be one of the last ones.
I think so, yeah.
And maybe Jack White.
Yeah.
And there's not many more you can name like that. I mean, like, we're all upset because David Bowie died and Glenn Frey died. But 20 years from now, this guy died. Who the fuck was that? I mean, you're not going to remember these people.
Right. It's not going to go on to the 24-hour news cycle like it does.
No.
Because it's like you said, it's instant gratification. Let's write the song now and have a hit now. I don't care about 20 years from now.
Right.
Well, I think what you guys are doing is super cool. I mean, the way I got connected with you was through an old friend, Brian Hill, who he could probably tell you some crazy stories from the back in the day. But he it directed me to your station, and I'll tell you, I'm an avid listener. I turn it on every day after work while I'm out walking the dog or exercising or whatever. And
Excellent.
It's music that I can't get anywhere else.
Right.
You know? And I think it's really cool that you guys play a really wide range, but you kind of staying true to the format. That's pretty awesome. And it's out there. You just got to go look for it. And
Yeah.
hopefully it comes back to a certain degree. I don't think it's rock and roll will never die, as they say.
No, it won't. And,
It won't.
We're all at this station music lovers. The only criteria for you to be a part of the working population of this radio station is that you have to love music. And and when we have shows, like we'll listen to each other's shows, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, I forgot about that song." Because we don't tell the DJs what to play. You play what you want, because
Right.
for us it's a treat too, because we'll hear things that we never heard before. And
Or stuff we haven't heard in like forever. Yeah.
And we love it. And you're right. We appreciate your support, and we love the fact that I listen to it all the time too. And and I'm one of the ones that put the damn music in there, and I still go, oh my God, I forgot about that song, and I fucking put it in there.
Yeah, it's like when you put your iTunes on like random or whatever, and you're like, shit, I forgot I had that record.
Right, exactly, right. And some of the songs that come up are great, and we also do a lot of independent bands too, which a lot of radio stations do.
Right. Well, I had back in the mid '90s, I was in a band called Sucker Punch, and our singer was a DJ, a very popular DJ on a local commercial radio station out here, KSGO. And his radio name was Uncle Nasty. And he's in Colorado. He's like legendary in the Denver area.
Is he?
Yeah, super cool guy. Yeah, check him out. I just got back on the air on a station out there.
Oh,
There's a TV show on World Viral TV too.
I would love to have him on.
Really? Yeah, I'll reach out to him and tell him to get in touch with you guys.
So have you seen the new series that's out on HBO? I don't know if you have HBO where you are, but the new show Vinyl.
I do get HBO, and when did that start? Last weekend?
It started last week, and the second episode is this weekend, I think. And I watched the first episode. This guy is a record producer back in the 60s. But it delves too much into his personal life. I thought they were going to get into the music end of it. It's produced by Mick Jagger.
Right. I was going to say Mick Jagger and who's
Martin Scorsese.
Martin Scorsese, and it's all about the psychedelic end. It's all about the drugs. It's all about the backroom, not the backroom dealings, but they ended up killing this one record producer. And that's how they got popular. And that's,
the
like
people.
Those makes rock and roll.
yeah. Well, the average person doesn't give a shit about the inner workings of the record company. They want to see that drugs and the violence and the sex, and that's what sells.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, but I thought they might delve a little bit into the business end of it, and very little. Very little.
Just like the show that my wife watches, called Nashville, and it's about the country music scene. Yeah. And I thought the same thing. Oh, it's going to be a lot about music. No, it's a soap opera.
It's a soap opera.
Well, I guess it's hard to drag the average viewer into the whole, hey, let's have an hour-long show about how they made this famous record or something like that. Because I guess unless you're a producer or a musician or something,
right?
You want to see the sex, drugs, and rock.
Well, isn't that one show on Fox about the Motown? The time when
it's what's it called? Empire? Is that it?
Yeah, Empire.
Oh, Empire yeah.
That's about Motown.
Yeah, but it's also like the other shows too. There's
soap
more
opera.
about soap opera-ish, and it's all about drugs and whatever. And like Tom was saying, that's what sells. The average person doesn't give a shit about the record industry. Like me, I'd rather see behind the music or something like that. But the majority of the people want to see, they want to see the record industry, but they want to see the seedy side of it. They want to see what happens.
Yeah, they want to see the guy get successful by stabbing somebody else in the back, right?
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to see somebody sitting there editing a Pro Tools session for.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now you and I might want to see that.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know, but those are things. That's the cool thing about like the internet. Like you can go on YouTube and see anything. I mean, you could watch some guy use Pro Tools and teach you how to use it. You can, or watch some guy stab another guy. I mean, you can watch anything now.
I can swap out an engine on YouTube.
Right.
Well, yeah, it's funny because people, like, my coworkers, they'll say, well, how do I do that? And I always turn around and say, Google is your friend.
Right.
Yeah, Google is your friend. It's amazing what you find on Google, folks. And I mean, I can put in a year, a make, and a model of a car, and I want to change the alternator. There's a video right there. It shows you exactly how to change your. That's why I don't understand. I work in the automotive industry, and it's like, oh my God. Come on, man. It's right there. It's at your fingertips today. And it's the same thing with music, Tom. Yeah. It's the same thing with music. Your music is at your fingertips. You could actually put in a description of the kind of music you want to hear, and it'll pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's interesting you bring that up because it's like if you want to have any kind of success as a musician or a band, you have to now include video along with the audio.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean back in, 15, 20 years ago, it was more about, hey, look, I made a cassette tape. Here's my demo. We're playing.
Right.
Yeah, listen to this.
About is your video viral,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's also, too, like the one thing about the internet that I kind of like about the music is that I get to listen to things that maybe the record company didn't want me to hear. Maybe the record company didn't think it was good, but I do.
Right. Well, it's total blessing and curse from a music standpoint because you can literally, you don't have to have a record deal anymore. You can go on sites like TuneCore. There's another one. You can post stuff and put your music on iTunes or sell it for movie soundtracks. And there's guys making a ton of money doing that kind of stuff. I'm kind of to get into that myself. So maybe you'll hear one of my songs on a video game. We'll see.
That'd be awesome.
But also it's the sea of musicians is turned into a giant ocean, and it's really it's hard to get recognized. You have to spend a lot of time or almost have some kind of gimmick. Like recently, there was this kid he was taking he calls it major to minor. And he takes major like happy sounding songs and redoes them in a minor sounding key.
Oh,
and he did it was a kind of a pop song. Richard Marx, I think his name was. Wherever you go, whatever you do.
Yep, Richard Marx. Yep.
Yeah, go look this kid up on YouTube. He does a minor version of that, and it's like creepy but really super cool.
Well, the YouTube.
That was the thing. But this kid is just like you're watching this video. There's all kinds of pop-ups saying, "Go here, go to this site, go to this site, meet me on Twitter, meet me on Facebook." I mean, he's really pushing himself hard with the social media, and that's what you have to do to get recognized as a musician or an artist. I mean, no matter what kind of music you do.
Even as a radio station, we are on every venue of social media out there, and
we were told, and I'm going to bring this up, Guido. We were told that no, Facebook doesn't do you any good. Instagram doesn't do you any good. Tumblr doesn't do you any good. And this was at our old station where he and I were part of this other station. And I said, okay, so now that we've got KGFRocks.com, and because of Facebook and because of Instagram and because of all Twitter and all this stuff, we are more popular today than we were when we first started.
Right.
But the growth was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It is well worth it.
Well, the thing of it is we opened ourselves, like we have a lot of European listeners in Germany, and I don't think we would have gotten them by chance. We got them because of social media.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, it gives you the opportunity to be worldwide. Absolutely.
And thank God, because in the beginning stages of this radio station, the bulk of our listenership was in Europe, and we couldn't figure it out. But there's this social media that we use called Tumblr that is huge in Europe. So
it's I think format wise too. It's like, for example, like bring up the winery dogs again. I went and saw them at this club that I was talking about. They were only open for about a year, and they just recently shut down. I mean, it was like oh great, there's finally a rock club back in the South Bay, and it didn't even last a year. When I went to see the winery dogs, the place was half full, and this friend of mine went with me who'd never heard of him, and he was blown away. He's the drummer, and he was watching Mike Portnoy going, oh my God.
How can you not be blown away? I mean, Richie Kotzen, Billy Sheehan. I mean, it's those guys up there are probably three of the best musicians out today.
Absolutely. So the room's half full, and then you see them posting on Facebook, and they're touring in Europe, and they're playing to like 5,000-6,000 people.
Right.
So
exactly.
The cool thing, one of the blessings of the internet is it gives you a chance to go find your market in other places where you wouldn't, other than your own neighborhood or your own country, which is really cool.
It shows you there's money to be made everywhere.
Right.
And not only that, the radio stations here in the United States are a completely different animal than what you're going to find in Europe. Europe is going to do exactly. They in the United States, okay, they're going to play the Winery Dogs, and they're going to play. Okay, I heard them.
Right.
Listen, this is the listener. Okay, I heard them. Okay, and they're having a concert. Well, I can get them on the radio. It's okay.
I'll watch them on YouTube.
I'll watch them on YouTube. And that's why local bars in local cities with local bands are struggling right now.
Well, the radio industry has a lot to do with the decline of everything because 90% of your big radio stations are corporate owned now.
Yeah,
they're not the little mom and pop radio stations anymore playing for the love of music. They're playing for a profit.
Clear Channel.
Yeah. Clear Channel is the worst. They own their iHeart now. They're everywhere, and it's like,
how much do you need?
Right, and not only do they own the radio industry, but they own the touring. They do all the major tours.
Well, didn't they split up Ma Bell? Didn't they break up the Bell system?
Yeah,
because there was a monopoly.
But iHeart's not that. I mean, there's so many radio stations out there that they'll never be a monopoly. It just won't happen.
If you want a radio station, you got to go through Clear Channel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the thing what I'm saying is that they're all corporate owned. Even here in Buffalo, they're all corporate owned, and you got suits telling these DJs what to play.
Right. Well, my buddy, when he was in San Jose, he got in a lot of trouble. Like, he called me up on my birthday. Hey, what do you want me to play? I want you to play, something by Dimebag Darrell. God, why is the name of the band?
Pantera,
yeah. Met those guys, super cool guys, super cool. Especially Dime, R.I.P. Man, what a great human being that guy was. And so he goes, well, what do you want to hear? I forgot what song it was. It wasn't something that was on their regular rotation. He plays it, and 5 minutes later, the program director's, hey, can't play that. He's like, I don't care. I played it. He asked for forgiveness and permission.
Well, back in the early 90s, I was part of terrestrial radio, and I worked at this radio station here in New York, and we were called 14X. We were an AM station, and it was freeform radio. The DJs played what they wanted. And we were really successful, but the record industry and the big wigs did not like it, and they shut us down.
Wow.
Which makes no sense because we were playing the music that people wanted to hear. People were calling in and saying, play this, okay? And that's not what they want. Oh, it's all about money. Oh, maybe, we're not going to play Warner Brothers music, or we're not going to play this. And it's bullshit. But now you come to internet radio, like ourselves here, and we're going to play it all.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, and I see that really being the future. I mean, because and it's already here. I mean, you can go on iTunes. There's lists of whatever genre you want to listen to. And,
right.
If you want to listen to some of the commercial stations that are out there, I think that's kind of like newspapers. It's a dying thing.
It is.
I mean, everybody gets their stuff digitally nowadays, and it's anything you want is out there. So
newspapers are dying.
Yeah. Well, even new cars. My sister just bought a new car, a Chevy. I forgot what kind it was, but it has a internet radio tuner in it,
right?
Where she could pick up us and everything.
Right, you get 4G. It's like wireless 4G, like your cell phone has.
Right.
Package, you just monthly fee or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is way better than Sirius, which sound quality kind of suck.
Not only does sound quality suck on Sirius, they play the same shit.
Right. Well, I think they started off, it was a good idea, but then it became commercialized. And,
it was a good idea when there was two of them, and then they bought each other out.
Right.
It was Sirius and XM.
It's like it's all relative. It's always the biggest boy on the block, the one with the biggest colonies. In this case, it's the one with the biggest dollars saying, I don't want you to be my competition. I want you to be a part of what I do, and I think it's more in the line. You're right. It's all profit. It's all greed.
The only thing that saved Sirius was hiring Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that saved them big time. They were losing money until they hired him.
Right.
And
They get him. Yeah.
they gave him a fucking $1 billion. A 10-year contract, $1 billion. Shit, if they give me $1 billion, I'm leaving your ass.
Okay, see ya.
Make sure you're in the station for a year or so.
I wouldn't blame you if they paid me $1 billion. I'll see you later, buddy. I'll see you. But of course, I'd own my own chain of terrestrial radio stations.
Right.
So I would be as big. Well, with $1 billion, I could open 10 stations nationwide.
Yeah, but you know the
just
cool thing
interlink
about Howard Stern is he's my idol, my role model. I've been DJing for 20-some years, you know, on radio, in bars, in weddings, whatever. And he's the first DJ that I've ever listened to that did things his way, and he kept getting fired. And he didn't give a shit. He just kept getting hired and doing what he wanted to do until he got the permanent gig.
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
I've read a couple of his books, you know, and he's the real deal. He's not fake, man. He's he does what he wants, and he doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks.
No,
I haven't kept up on him lately. I used to listen to him every day when I was paying for Sirius Radio. Now it's like streaming off my phone or whatever. You know?
Right, that's what I do too. I'll listen to the reruns on YouTube.
Trying to put my stuff together if I'm not working at my regular day job.
Yeah, when you're listening to KGFRocks.com while you're mowing the lawn, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I am.
There's 1.5 million things you can do while you listen to our station.
I'll tell you what.
You guys are the only radio station that I regularly tune into that in the last 5 or 6 years.
Well, that's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That makes me feel great. We're going to have you do a couple of ads for us, man.
If you want to listen to the best show, I'll tell you, Wednesday nights at 7 Eastern Standard Time is the best show on KGF.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I think Wild Bill Hill has the monopoly. He puts on a great show. But then again, we've got, I can't play favorites because, these guys all work for me and they go on the air and, they don't, we don't pay them, folks. Our DJs are not paid. And this is for the love of music and to bring you, stuff that you don't get on the radio, and it's all commercial free. So we don't even have a sponsor for our show. So it's one of those things where I think we're running into a situation with royalties and all that fun stuff. And when you write your own music, okay, Tom, you don't have to pay royalties. You're paying yourself to do this.
Right.
But when we play your music, we play royalties. And it has gone up. What is it now, Guido? It's gone up 100%? It's
gone up more than 100%.
Yeah. It's gone up in the last month. And I'm going to do an ad here, okay?
Yeah,
all right. We're running now on KGFRocks.com. You can go ahead and donate to KGFRocks.com. And what we're doing is we're giving out, if you go to our webpage at www.kgfrocks.com and go to the donate button, it'll go to a special page, and you can see what you get for your donation. We're not just asking for your money. We're going to do some giveaways as well. There's CDs. There's going to be T-shirts. There's going to be all kinds of fun stuff coming your way for a donation to the station. And we're doing this with the friends of ours who are on our station, like Huguenin, and bands like Mars Needs Guitars and Symphony X and all these other bands. You can go in and check out the page and find out what you get for your donation. And that helps keep the rock alive. That's first. Secondly, it helps keep us commercial free. And thirdly, it'll make you feel good, man.
Absolutely.
And it'll make you want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, here's another thing that you can do too is go to the site and there's Save Radio Now. And what's going on, Tom, is what's going on is these big companies see that internet radio is the way right now, and they're trying to squash us. Okay, and it's not just internet radio, but they're also going to squash these independent bands and these independent producers and record labels and all this because they can't, run with the big boys. So they made an agreement with us in 2010, and it ended this past year, and they raised our royalty rates significantly to where it's, I think they said 62% of the internet radio stations are already closing down.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're trying to stay afloat, and we're not asking for a handout from people. We're just asking. It's kind of like when you see your public access television station do their telethons, you're going to get something for it. It might not be something big, but you're going to get something for it, and you're going to help save rock and roll. That's how we put it.
Well, that to me is enough. I'm definitely going to be going to your page and clicking on the link, and maybe like a crowdfunding thing or a concert of some of the independent musicians you guys support. A benefit type thing or something.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing all kinds of stuff during the year. Okay. We're going to be playing music, and we're going to be giving aways. And yes, there has been talk of a benefit concert for KGFRocks.com, and we've talked about it. But we won't go there until we're ready for that.
Right.
But right now, your donation is going to help support music like I'm going to play right now. And this is a song called Lesson Learned. And this is, Tom, give us an idea of where this song came from, man.
It started off with a bass riff, just sitting around the house, and I was playing the bass, and I'm like, this is cool, I got to record this. It took a while to put it together. My friend Sam Eigen plays guitar on it. My friend Nick Thorne does the vocals. And basically I did everything else. And it's the idea behind it was I text some lyric ideas to my friend Nick. He came down one weekend. We set up the mic and put the song together.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Well, here it is, folks. This is Lessons Learned. We'll be right back. Okay, with the Tom Edwards Experience. This is Lessons Learned. You're listening to Conjugal Visits. kick-ass song.
Thank you.
Nice. Like that. Guido, you still with us? I guess he's not with us right now.
I'd take a beer break maybe or something.
He went to go, probably drain his lizard. Probably had to go potty. so, Tom, it's you and me, man. And as far as the music of today is concerned, okay, are you looking to go into anything a little bit? I'm not going to say it. I'm going to say it. Like metal, anything heavy?
I like that kind of stuff. I guess as far as the stuff I write, it's more along the lines of like the classic rock.
Okay.
I do appreciate great music, great musicianship wherever it is. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't keep up on the latest like death metal stuff or whatever. Or there's so many genres of it now. Anyway, it's like death or But anything that's good, I mean, I'm going to listen to it. So, but as far as the stuff I write, it's pretty much along the lines of what you guys heard tonight. So,
well, that's good.
Cool.
And we do like it. And I know we have one song in our rotation,
right.
And we'll put the new one in there too.
Cool. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's not a problem. We're glad to do it. Yeah, that's what we do here at KGF Rocks. Susan said she put Chuck's picture up, leaning on a speaker so he can hear it.
Oh wow. That was Chuck Gould. He was the drummer in the first band I was in. We used to cover like Montrose and Robin Trower, and I don't know if you guys have ever read the book, the Van Halen book, Van Halen Rising.
Oh no.
It's a great book. It's basically their story of when they were like a house party band before they passed.
Yeah.
And it was really an interesting read, and there was a lot of parallels with the first band I was in, where we would play these enormous outdoor parties where, like, some poor family's house would get trashed, 400 or 500 people would show up, But Susan's brother, Chuck, he's no longer with us, R.I.P. Chuck and Mike. And he was an amazing drummer. He was my buddy, man. He was a good dude. It's a lot of good times back in those days.
I'm sure it was. As far as I wanted to ask you, we ask all of our guests this: what was the first rock concert you ever went to?
The first rock concert I ever went to. Ooh, that's going back. I think it was Montrose at Winterland in California.
Really, Montrose?
Yeah.
With Sammy Hagar or after Sammy Hagar?
With Sammy Hagar.
With Sammy Hagar. Wow.
Yeah.
We're in good company.
I have a ton of stories to tell you guys. I watched Journey's first gig with Steve Perry from the stage, with Steve Perry standing next to me. And, when Greg was in town, I met Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, Zach Wilde, met all kinds, Dimebag, met all kinds of guys.
Cool.
But yeah, that was the first show. It was Montrose. Back then there was always like 5 bands on the bill for like $5 or something like that. Winterland was a crappy old venue, but there was tons of great shows there. I think Frampton Comes Alive was recorded. Part of it was recorded there.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Susan says enormous parties. She remembers. She said, "Remember the birdcage thrown across the lawn at the party." She's laughing her ass off at that.
There was a lot of. It was a very foggy time in my life. Flaming youth, right?
So did that Montrose concert influence you as a younger person? I mean,
have you ever seen the movie Almost Famous?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was like my life story. My older sister left the house, and I went under her bed and found like Led Zeppelin 1 and Axis Bold as Love, and that's what kind of turned me on to rock music. And then I got the first Montrose album. I remember I wanted it really bad because I heard like Bad Motor Scooter or something back in the old days of FM, and begged my mom, buy it for me please, and she did. And, I heard that they were playing at Winterland, so I mean that just flipped the switch.
Do you remember what the ticket cost to go see Montrose back then? What was it, like $6.50?
I don't even think it was that much. I want to say it was like $3 or something.
I went to see Montrose. Wishbone Ash, Montrose, and Humble Pie. And KC95 is a radio station here in St. Louis, and that was their birth. I think it was their 10th birthday party, and for 95 cents.
95 cents.
For 95 cents. And Wishbone Ash was killer. And then, of course, Montrose came out and just rocked the place. And then Humble Pie played. And we didn't leave until 2:30 in the morning because that was the last time that Peter Frampton played with the band.
Wow.
Humble Pie. And it was a 5 encore show. We wouldn't leave. They brought the house lights up. Nobody would leave.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was one of the best shows I ever saw. And, Peter Frampton, after that, went out on his own. So, pretty cool. Yeah, history.
I remember they had the old Day on the Greens at Oakland Coliseum here, and people used to show up like 2 days before the concert and party on the parking lot for 2 days.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. That happened when the Rolling Stones came to St. Louis. People camped out for days before the show.
And, that happens a lot at a lot of shows. I remember I used to follow the Grateful Dead. It was like a freaking festival every time.
Oh yeah, it was a gypsy caravan.
Yeah, I saw them in one of the free shows they did at Golden Gate Park.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Do you think about what it would be like to have guys like Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin still with us today? Yeah, or what they would have done if they had not died back then?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hendrix, even now, I just hadn't listened to any Hendrix for a little while, and last week I forgot. I think you guys were playing something on your station. I think, and I was like, wow, I forgot all about this. It was just blazing guitar. Mm-hmm. And I know that having been a student of Hendrix, back then, he was getting into like doing stuff with Miles Davis. I mean, he was a musician's musician.
Yeah.
And who knows what he would have done. I mean, he would have probably just really turned music on its head.
Oh yeah. But who knows what could have happened? I mean, like it's the same old thing. If Kurt Cobain would have still been alive, what would happen? You never know. I mean, he could have been the biggest thing since sliced bread, or he could have just faded away like so many other stars from the '60s.
Right.
I doubt that would have happened. I really do, but you don't know.
Right. Well, musicians. I mean, really good musicians. Like the time I saw Bruce Dickinson at the radio station, he came in. Have you guys ever met him before?
Bruce Dickinson, no.
Yeah, he's only like 5 foot tall. He's not a big guy, and he came in with this kid from Ireland playing acoustic guitar, and I thought, well, how's this? He doesn't have the band behind him, and it was freaking amazing. I mean, the guy just had this amazing voice, with this kid playing guitar. So I think even musicians, really good musicians, continue to be really good musicians into their old age. And maybe, like you said, they're not, they don't do anything groundbreaking, but it's still really cool to go see them do their thing because they're just super talented. They can do that thing that nobody else can do, So, yeah, I kind of wonder how that would have turned out if Jimmy would have been around or, like Kurt Cobain would have been around.
Right.
Or even, Jim Morrison. What would have happened with Jim Morrison? Do you think the Doors would have broke up anyways and been done with it?
Jim Morrison would have probably just... drank himself to death anyways or something eventually.
He was a bit of a lush. Yeah, he drank quite a bit.
But he's one of the ones to me that I wish I would have seen do more. I mean, the Doors were only around for like 5-6 years.
At the most, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, they put a lot of work out in those 5-6 years, but I mean, they were evolving a lot. And from the Doors' first album to L.A. Woman, it's a drastic change.
Right.
And I would love to see what direction they would have went, or was that their swan song? Were they done? I mean, because after Jim Morrison left, they did 2 albums without him, and it fucking sucked.
Right. Well, sometimes it's the parts aren't equal to the sum. You know what I mean? There's a lot of bands where that happens, where it's such a great band, and then they break up, and one guy goes and does a solo thing, or they replace that guy with a different member, and it's just like never the same.
Well, the
It's like,
Beatles, none of the Beatles parts were interchangeable after they made it either.
no,
Now, you couldn't put a replacement for Paul. You couldn't put a replacement for John. You couldn't put a replacement for George. I
But they
mean,
did replace Paul in 1968.
oh, they did not. Shut the front door. I mean, you're crying out loud. You can't. Never mind. Never mind. Conspiracy
Silly
theorists.
Cheers,
is that the turn me on dead man thing?
Turn me on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn me on. Yeah. The walrus was Paul. If you look up walrus in Scandinavia, it means corpse. Shut up. Just shut up. Yeah.
Well, that's one. I think that's one case where the parts were equal to some, because I mean they all kind of went on and did their own thing and had a ton of success.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, yeah. After the Beatles broke up, like George Harrison was saying, "What the fuck? I'm making more money now than I was with them. Why would I go back?"
Right.
Right.
I mean, you'd be a fool. I mean, even Ringo Starr in the early part of when they first broke up, Ringo Starr had some really good success, more success than with the Beatles.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would you go back? I mean, and then Paul McCartney. Amazing career,
Yeah.
I would have loved to see John Lennon do one or two more albums, because he took that 5-year break from 75 to 80,
Right.
and then came back in 80 with a great album.
Right.
I would have loved to see him do one or two more.
That was such a tragedy. I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing.
I was watching Monday Night Football. Howard Cosell told me.
Yeah,
Howard Cosell told me. Yep.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cried for about 2 days. So, yeah, it was sad.
Well, my
Sad.
musical icon of all time was Elvis Presley, and I'm always under the realm that if Elvis didn't do it first, none of us would be able to do it now. And not necessarily did he create rock and roll, but he created the icon thing. He created the star,
The rock star. Yeah.
the rock star. Yes, he created all that. But it was crazy because he died so early. What would he have done?
Right. Yeah, I remember where I was when he died. When I heard that news too, that was a sad day for sure. And he was kind of like the first like multimedia guy too, because he was in movies and the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, he did everything.
Well, listen, Tom, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. Interesting conversation. Very
Absolutely.
cool. Very cool conversation. Enjoyed every minute of it. If we ask you to come back, will you come back and talk with us some more?
Absolutely. I'll even bring some friends with me.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, that would be awesome. And I was serious about that ad thing. If you'll hook up with Mr. Wild Bill Hill and just set it up with him, and I'm sure we could work something out. You could do a couple of station promos for KGF Rocks. Would you be willing to do that for us?
Absolutely. I'd love to do that for you.
Okay.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. Well, we do appreciate you coming on, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. If anything new comes out, let us know, and we'll get it into rotation.
For sure. Again, I totally appreciate you guys taking the time to chat with me and playing my music, and you definitely have a listener for life.
Oh, thank you very much, man. We do appreciate that. Tom Edwards, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming in tonight, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
All right.
All right, great guy. Great
Definitely.
guy. Yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun, man. We got to talk. I almost didn't want to end it, but we're out of time. We're running out of time, and we need to bring Mary Jane in here and get the weather. So we need to
bring
get
him
that
in.
done. But we're going to bring her in real quick here. Let's bring in Mary Jane, and she's so freaking cute. That picture's awesome. You like that? I like that.
Hello.
Hi, Mary Jane.
Hi, you guys.
How you
Hey.
doing?
How you doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm good.
We just finished an interview with Tom Edwards, and it was a great interview. And we got to talking, and before I knew it, it was quarter till the hour. So we got to jabber, and it was really a lot of fun. He was a great interview. We enjoyed
That's
having him
good.
on. Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
so how you been?
I've been good. Had a good
Yeah.
week. How about you?
I'm doing okay. Allergies got me down, but other than that, I'm okay. I'm vertical.
Allergies suck.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. So, have you got some weather for us tonight?
I do. I'm gonna do the weather for Weed, California.
We, Weed, California. That's a real name of a town.
And that's a real name of a town here
Okay.
in Cali. And it looks like Sunday is partly cloudy. Monday is gonna be sunny, partly cloudy through the week, and then Sunday through Thursday, and the high will be 65 degrees. And it's gonna fluctuate between 50 and 60. So
Cool.
yeah.
It's cooler. It's cooler. Where's that? Up by
It
the
is-
mountains? Where's it located?
Yeah, it is up by the mountains.
Weed,
So,
California.
Weed, California.
WEED.
Yes. So it's definitely colder over here. More more towards me, Northern California, we're actually 70s, high 70s, early 80s, up and down. It's like all over the place.
It's like all over the place. I got to ask you. We were talking earlier in the show, and it didn't go over too well with Guido. But do you have a pet name for your partner's genitalia?
No.
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 I thought for sure you would.
No.
Can Rocky come out and play, or
I think, to be honest with you, I think if I try to name my babes, yeah, I think he'd probably think that was, I don't know. You know what, though? I'm sure he has a name for it, because I always thought you guys named your own, like, you guys do it, not the, like, you know.
mine, like
Dang.
name it like Thor or something. You don't want to. You don't want to.
I don't know, girls. I don't know. That's more of a guy thing. You guys shit. All we care is that it keeps us happy.
Is that all that matters?
Yeah, much. Doing your job.
Right. Keeping up with the paces, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd ask. I was just kind of curious. I heard that's kind of a thing now where people are naming their genitalia. I guess I was misinformed about something. I don't know.
Yeah, you were watching the Granny Panty channel.
The Granny Panty channel. Well, okay. Can Wolfie come out and play?
Well, I don't know. Have you ever named yours?
No, I never
I
named. I never named mine. I just was curious.
So it's not a guy thing.
I guess it's a guy thing. I don't know. This friend of mine, his girlfriend named his. I mean, what was it? Princess something. I don't know. I forget the name.
If I have to name it, I usually just say it's my dick. It's my dick.
That's my dick. Okay.
That's
Well,
already
Dick,
got it.
Dick is a manly name. Yeah, Dick is a manly name. Could be.
Yeah.
You don't want to name it Richard.
Mine's named John Cock and Toes.
John Cock and
No,
Toes.
mine.
You got that foot.
Off.
You got that foot thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foot fetish.
Foot fetish. He's got his cock in somebody's toes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that going for you.
And the conversations that I end up having with you guys, Jesus.
Yeah, well, that's okay though. And that's what it's all about. That's
Trust me,
exactly.
Jesus has nothing to do with it.
No,
No, it doesn't.
Jesus doesn't want to know what we're talking about. That's for sure.
No.
What would Jesus do?
Oh, Lord.
Well, anyways, thanks for coming in tonight, sweetheart. We're running a little short tonight, but thanks for coming in. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you. I had a good time, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week.
You
Well,
too.
I hope it was painless for you, hon. Thanks for coming in tonight. You have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week, okay, sweetie?
You too. Take care. Mwah.
All right, mwah. What a gal! Isn't she special? She's so fucking cute.
Yeah. And go vote this week for current artist of the week if you haven't already done so. And this week's artists are Bon Jovi. Oh shit! I forgot who else. Janis Joplin.
Ooh, Janis Joplin.
And ready for the last one? It's loading, so I'm waiting for it.
Desert Dragon.
Desert Dragon. That's right. Bon Jovi, Desert Dragon, and Janis Joplin. So we got an oldie, an 80s, and
Yeah.
a new one.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's only
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, and go to www.kgfrocks.com and go in and vote. And while you're in there, go into our page and donate. Okay?
That's right.
All right. So it's all new tonight. It starts tonight, and we're going to launch it tonight. So you guys can go in and donate to your heart's content, and you get prizes too. So let us know. Okay. Yeah, you get prizes.
It's already launched. It's up.
It's up and ready to go. So go out there and check it out. Okay. All right. We really do appreciate it, and I swear to you, the prizes will come. All right, pick your choice and let us know, okay? Just go in when you put your donation in and it has a comment, put which prize you want to get, okay? And we will get it to you in the mail. Simple as that, okay?
Well, let's not call it a prize. It's a gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's a gift. Yes, it is a gift. So we'll be giving you lots of gifts, giving lots away, all right? So tune in to kgfrocks.com. We do appreciate it. What else you got going on, Guido?
Nothing really. I got my show this Wednesday night.
You got your show Wednesday night. We got Monday night is the Metal Enema with Rob Boyer, and then on Tuesday midday we have Miss Diamond,
Yes,
and
right.
then Tuesday afternoon or evening we have Zookeeper Bob,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tuesday
I already
afternoon.
did Tuesday.
Huh?
You already did Tuesday.
Oh, I did Tuesday? Oh, yeah, that's right. Wednesday, we have Guido. But Wednesday afternoon, don't we have Zookeeper?
No, we have Wild Bill Hill.
Wild Bill Hill, Wednesday. And then Thursday is Zookeeper.
That's right.
And then on Friday, Zookeeper and Free Ride, me, if I'm off.
And Wild Bill.
And then Wild Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturday, we have Zookeeper Bob.
That's right.
Check it out. Check out our schedules. It's all cool. And then, of course, Sunday night, this coming Sunday night, we have on our show is going to be Dave Hagel, and he is lead singer and Ozzy Osbourne second in the Ozzy Osbourne tribute band, and our good friends over there at Madman's Diary.
Right.
A tribute to Ozzy Osbourne. So you want to check it out next week. Don't forget. And he's got shows coming up, and he's got all kinds of crazy shit going on. So you want to tune in for that. All right? That'll be a good
That's
show.
right.
That'll be a good
Awesome show.
And if you want to listen to past shows, we do need to say something. I need to say something. Our friend, we lost a friend today.
Oh, yeah.
We lost a friend, and I'm thinking about him now. And when we were talking to him on the very first show of the Return of the Conjugal Visit, Rusty Burns, he said life goes on as long as I can take 2 steps forward. And he lost his battle with cancer, and he passed away this morning with his wife by his side. And we're going to miss him a lot. And it was a great interview. If you hadn't had a chance to do it, all you have to do is go to our website, www.kgfrocks.com, go to the Conjugal Visit page, and then scroll to the bottom. He's the very first interview. And you can listen to that interview. It was a great interview. We had a really good time with him, and he'd definitely be missed. So I got my 2 cents in.
Yeah, he definitely will be missed.
Yeah, he will be missed. He was a great guitarist, man. I mean, the guy could play guitar. No question about it. And bluesy, and talk about Johnny Winter. I mean, this guy here was just like, he was awesome, phenomenal. And very close friends with ZZ Top and all the guys there. So, interesting life and story. He was getting ready to go on tour. They were getting ready to go on tour with Leonard Skinner when the Freebird crashed. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
That was an interesting story. I mean,
And it kind of stalled their whole career because they didn't have anything booked after that.
Right, exactly, and it was tough for him. So anyway, we got what's that?
He's definitely a musical. Everybody should listen to that show because he definitely is a musical icon.
Yeah, and it really was. Now he is. Now he is for sure. And like I said, he definitely be missed. And we hope that you guys will join us next Sunday night. Okay? I think we're about done, Dubich.
Okay, man.
We think we're done?
I think
we're
so.
done. Yeah, I think we're done. So, with that said, this is Free Ride saying goodnight to you from wherever it is I am. And Guido, good night, buddy.
See you later, man.
Great show, man. See
Always
ya.
is.
I know, man. We have a great time. See you guys. Thanks for joining us.
It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.